Thank you, Joanne. What an uplifting 2 weeks it's been for Irish football, all kicked off by the Under-17s World Cup adventure in Qatar. And of course the seniors, unforgettable performances and wins in Dublin and Budapest. Now, attention back with the 21s.
Nacional
Defeat in rain-lashed Birmingham on Friday night was a setback, but the nature of that performance against a star-studded England certainly leaves us with hope that over the next 12 months or so, in a very protracted qualification campaign, that a top 2 place in this group can be achieved by Jim Crawford's charges. James Abankwah again wears the armband for Ireland. Experience now at this level, he's been around for a couple of campaigns. The Estadio Nacional in Andorra, a capacity of just over 3,000. This artificial surface, which you've been talking about, but it was one that in the summer of 2021, a certain Troy Parrott opened his international account with a brace of goals here to grant Stephen Kenny his first win as Ireland manager. I think we'll get that name, Troy Parrott, into as many games as we can in the weeks to come. Here's our team of match officials. Andorra, intriguingly, have played 5 away games, losing them all without scoring, and just the 1 game at home, but it was a famous one from their point of view back in October, a 1-0 win against Kazakhstan. And that, in their entire European qualification history, is just their 3rd victory. But they have proven awkward opponents in this group so far. England in Derby managed to beat them by a 1-0. Ireland in Tallaght, just a 1-0 as well, and they were put under pressure, Ireland, particularly in the first half of that game.
Yeah, absolutely. There's particularly the game in England, 1-0, that would have raised a few eyebrows. Maybe the indication his team certainly can't be taken lightly. You mentioned the performance of Dublin as well. Alan Cawley alluded to it pre-match. I don't think this will be a case of Andorra sitting in a low defensive block for 90 minutes tonight. I think they'll come out to play. I think that's a good thing, Des. That'll help us in terms of spaces in behind. Really looking forward to this Irish performance. Similar to the lads in the studio, really impressed with how they acquit themselves against a very talented England team. This is a different challenge, a different set of skills almost required. There's been a couple of changes made by the management team. That's understandable, but they should be confident going into this game. And it's an important game, Des. I wouldn't go as far as say maybe the game they have to win, but you get a bit of a sense of that we're nudging towards that before the game kicks off. And I think that'll be in the mindset of the players. And
not just an important game here, an important day, because the other game that's coming towards an end in Slovakia that affects the top of this group. It's currently England leading by 2-0. Divan Mubama, the Manchester City youngster on loan at Stoke at the moment, and scoring goals aplenty there. Scored in the first half. Arsenal's Ethan Nwaneri has added one in the second half. So I think from the point of view that you want England now to go on and maybe win every game except the last one, which is in Ireland, and then it will be that shootout most likely between Ireland and Slovakia. They will meet in Slovakia in the third last game of this group, and second in the group will earn that playoff spot. So we are up and running. Kazakhstan, Moldova got the day's action underway. As we said, we'll update you as we go on the final score when it comes through from Slovakia, but all eyes on Ireland here as they look to make a positive start. Referee lets that first challenge go, much to the annoyance of the Ireland bench. A couple of ways this Andorra 11 could have lined out the possibility of a back five. We'll wait and see if that's the case. At the other end, James Abankwah forced towards the corner flag, and that's rebounded off the Andorra captain Gerard Sola and out for a goal kick. Interestingly, Eloy Casals, the Andorra manager, selected 10 of the 11 that started that loss in Tala back in September. The exception is Guillem Acosta, who comes in at the back, and 7 of this 11 have started every game. And in Biel Biora, Ian Oliveira, Hugo Ferreira and Otto Molins, a quartet of players capped at senior international level.
Yeah, I think you're right there. They need to be respected. I'm sure that'll be the case. It's the case of us trying to grab this game by the scruff of the neck, particularly the early part of the game. First kind of 10-15 minutes, get on the ball, start dictating as we are at the moment, and put the play forward. You know, not just to keep possession, maintain possession, to develop a little bit of tempo, a bit of forward momentum. You need to get the ball forward, need to break the lines with your pass and hit that target man, Marco Mahoney. He'll be comfortable with his back to goal. There's Mason Amelia, yes, he can have the ball into feet, but he always wants to get on the turn and run channels. This lad will be happy, Marco Mahoney, to plant his feet, have it into his feet, and hopefully bring those kind of wingers, Kone Doherty in particular, and Jada Kiki into the game.
Lovely quick feed on this near side from Aaron Rodrigo, but Andorra unable to keep possession. Here's Trent Kone Doherty. 19-year-olds making his under-21 debut in this campaign. Man of the match, an Irish point of view, in Birmingham on Friday evening. It's a factor as well. You've 18 and 19-year-olds in this squad and in this team, and catching the eye, and straight away Ireland looking to smuggle a little ball inside. It was Lipchuk towards O'Mahony, and Ireland starting to settle now.
He took up a great position there, Lipchuk, off the shoulder of his opposition midfield player. Got turned in one movement. That was the trigger for Marco Mahoney to make a clever little running behind. Just the quality of the ball wasn't there, but the right intention. That's the type of ball I'm talking about. There's that one just forward in 15 yards through the lines into the feet of Lipchuk. Jamie Mullins is another one as well. He'll be occupying those advanced midfield positions. 2 number 8s really, with Jacob Devaney tucked in behind, giving us that little counterbalance in behind.
I think there was every chance Jamie Mullins was always going to come back into the side tonight. Left out from the start on Friday. He's one of 3 changes. Jada Kiki, Marco Mahoney, we've mentioned, Akachukwu, Adam Murphy, Mason Melia. The 3 who have dropped out, at least from the start. May see them at some point. Andorra look to go again. This man really caught the eye in Tala, Aaron Rodrigo. Lipchuk, though, at work rate again. Does a lot of the hard work in there. And now the switch is on towards Hakiki. He's found a good first touch to keep it with him on a surface that mightn't be conducive to it. Sets it up for Abankwah towards the back post. Kone Doherty, McManus up in support, and now back with Sean Grehan, who out from the back has that lovely passing range. Here is Devaney. Had an opportunity to see him training up Nabbitstown on Tuesday, Jacob Devaney, and certainly stood out there. Very responsible position on a team, and as an 18-year-old, he's the one who has it.
Is he more interested in that? Did he ask you to join in the 5-a-side there while you were up there now?
Jim, is it?
You're absolutely right. 18 years of age, Devaney looks like a man, doesn't he? Plays with a lot of confidence. Sometimes there's just body language, how players carry themselves on the pitch. He's one of them. He's clearly got quite confidence in his own ability. made a big impression in a short period of time.
Mullins trying to nick it there, likewise Conor Doherty, and it's the Liverpool man who gets it back, and now Mullins to settle Ireland again and look forward. Out to the left-hand side he goes. Conor McManus has made a huge impact, just 221 caps. He scored a debut brace of winning headers against Hungary in his debut back in March in a friendly. And then his competitive debut on Friday night at St Andrews, exceptional down that left-hand side, along with Conor Doherty.
Yeah, you're right, the combination play between them two was exceptional. Conor Doherty coming inside onto the pocket, McManus more than comfortable there, getting himself kind of high and wide, even looking to take on his opposition player in 1v1 situations, which is quite unusual for kind of an orthodox fullback. So yeah, that big opportunities hopefully for us down that left-hand side of the pitch.
If you were with us on Friday, we were mentioning the last two editions of qualification where Ireland came so close. 2023 finals, second in their group, behind Italy, ahead of Sweden, into that playoff against Israel, 1-1 in Tel Aviv and Ferguson, 0-0 in Tel Aviv. But then accuracy deserted Ireland from the penalty spot. Conor Coventry, the only one to convert, as the Israeli goalkeeper, turned in a match-winning performance. And then last time around, as we see Devaney forced to defend here, it was right to the final day, and only the head-to-head against Norway denied them the playoff spot.
Yeah, so many near misses. Have to get over that final hurdle. Almost feel as if you get a bit of a sense it could be psychological at times. Huge pressure, obviously, but we've come so close. Great opportunity. Under 17s are experiencing that. Have done at the World Cup at the moment. It'd be great to see this group of players do it as well. Great defender there, Jacob Devaney, dropping in, albeit at the expense of a corner.
Corner delivered in by Hugo Ferreira. And sails over everyone's heads, and the Banco will let it run for a throw-in. Since that brilliant win year of 1998, Brian Kerr with the 16s and 18s. We've had the 17s and 19s all get to European Championships, so the 21s, the ones we're waiting on.
Yeah, it's not easy there. It's tough, this age group. You're playing against opposition players, particularly the stronger European nations. Got players playing in the biggest leagues on a regular basis. You know, fantastic athletes, kind of technicians. Got the added challenge, obviously, in terms of losing players potentially, senior international issues as well, players dropping up and kind of dropping down. But maybe potentially we've got to manage that situation a little bit better going forward in terms of what's best for the national team, what's best for the player in terms of his development as well. I don't think we've got that right on every occasion in the past. We need to get that right going forward, particularly with this, certainly individual players you've mentioned, and already Conor Doherty, Jacob Devaney potentially. That could be a conversation around those players in the next couple of years.
Well, England looking home and hose now in Slovakia. Josh King of Fulham has added a third goal there, so they will go top tonight onto 15 points from 5 games. Slovakia 13 points from 6, so Ireland with a good chance here now to close the gap to Slovakia to 3 points with the win. Graham into Devaney. Now a Banqua. Graham again. Looking out wide to see if there's something there for him. Lipschuk, former St. Pat's man, back to another in a Banqua. And now David Okabwe.
Now Adam Murphy on the pitch, a trio of ex-St. Pat's men. Unfortunately, it's great to see that kind of representation, League of Ireland football, young players. Maybe those St. Pat's supporters might argue didn't have them for long enough, but obviously off for looking to extend their careers, make a career almost. Banqua has had some great experiences already.
Just looking at that starting 11, a Banqua was a Pat, so Kabwe played underage before heading to Stoke. Sean Grehan, of course, came through at Bohemians and went back there last season, second half of the campaign, to huge effect. Cabinteely, Bray, Shells, Cork City, lots of clubs represented. Derry City as well, with Trent Coney-Doherty was on a senior bench at the age of 15. Fantastic to see. Here is Mullins. Devaney there with him.
You'd like to see Jamie Mullins stay a little bit higher up the pitch there. Don't like to see him drop off too deep there alongside Devaney. That's not really hurting the opposition. Clever player, good technician, really can operate kind of in the pockets and discipline himself to stay a little bit higher up the pitch, receive the ball a bit higher off O'Mahony in these occasions.
Lovely ball forward from Grehan to the feet of O'Mahony, and here goes Coney Doherty. Plenty to his right, Devaney. Here the Irish bench asking him to open out. He does to Abankwah. And further wide is Akiki. Devaney in support. Look for that incisive ball into Mullins. It will come to Lipchuk. And that goes out for a corner.
Even the fact Lipchuk was high up the pitch, almost in a second striker position, that's important. Spoke about Mullins getting himself a little bit higher up the pitch. Lipchuk he's a little bit more different, strong runner, physical. Still got to get in the box though. You play this system of two, attacking number 8. At least one of them at every opportunity. He's got to be getting up in contact with a Matney high up the pitch.
Lots of these Andorran players playing in the 4th, 5th, 6th tier in Spain, but a few did have youth spells at some of the top Spanish clubs. Here's the ball in. Oh, Cabway, you could see flexing the next muscles. I think he was going to reach him. Touch just before him, took it away. Devaney. Dallied on that one. And Andorra with a chance to counter here now, perhaps. Important challenge from Lipchuk. Ireland back on the ball again. Devaney. To McManus. And Doherty waiting for it. It was Akiki actually who played the ball across, switching wings for the moment. Lipchuk, dangerous low ball in. Away by Oliveira. Banco again, always backs that physical strength of his.
There's nothing wrong with that ball though. Lipchuk into that near post area. Des would expected Mark Mann to get across his man there. They had Akiki behind them. Just take a gamble. It's a decent ball delivered in, really good pace. Just a little bit on his heels there, man. He may be looking for the perfect ball floated over the first defender, but just make that run across him always causes a bit of confusion.
Lovely little 1-2 off that left-hand side, and the effort from Mullins charged down. Conor Doherty, space at a real premium there. Andorra trying to work their way out. Rodrigo. Muscled off it by O'Mahony.
Yeah, that was certainly better from Jamie Mullins. Clever little link up, 1-2 around the box. Onto his right foot, got the shot off, blocked obviously. Just building a little bit of forward momentum. Ireland at the moment.
Mark O'Mahony nudging on 3 years now in England. From Carrigaline and through Cork City, where he was part of a League of Ireland First Division title winning campaign under Colin Healy. On the books at Brighton, out on loan at Reading, got a couple of goals already this season. The Ireland bench again. You can hear them asking for maybe a little more pace to keep that ball moving. Devaney. Kiki spots a little gap and off he goes. Just left a trailing leg there.
Yeah, not easy that. I like the fact Lipchuk's always looking to make that run. Kiki drops off, drags in the left wing back. Space opens up. That's a trigger for Lipchuk to drive in there. This occasion decided to take it on the inside of Kiki's just going to keep that ball close to his body. Not easy though, there's in this kind of surface. Lads mentioned again before the game, horrible really. The day's training before the game doesn't really prepare you.
It's an interesting one for this Andorra side. You see a couple of those senior internationals who would have only played, a couple of them only played in Tala in this qualification group. They've been away with the seniors. So for the manager of the 21s, you've got to try and just bring them back in when they're made available to you. Hugo Ferreira. This man, Oliveira, has already scored for the senior national team. He scored the goal that earned them their only points in the World Cup qualification campaign. A late leveler in a 2-2 draw against Latvia and Riga. Huge moment for him. And here he is on it again. To show his passing range, that's going to land on top of Graham. Dug out by Sola. First real chance now to cause some consternation in that Irish penalty area. McManus asking Rodriguez to make his move. Conor Doherty there as they double up and looking to eke out across. Harmlessly behind.
You just got to be careful there. Long ball back to front. Sean Grennan won the header. Just dropped down. Jamie Mullins a little bit slow in reacting. Andorra picked up the second ball and had a foothold in there last third of the pitch. Sometimes it's just the basics, really. Anticipating second balls, winning kind of knockdowns.
Two sides with very different aims in this group. Ireland, the top two spot, to continue their chase for that elusive European Championship finals. Andorra, through all their qualification campaigns, their first was the 2007 finals. They've never finished above bottom of the group, but at the moment they're on 3 points after the win against Kazakhstan last month. They've got Kazakhstan and Moldova also on 3 points, and this raft of home games to come, this might be their chance.
Yeah, really, since this group was made, they really split it in two in terms of how it was going to pan out. England, ourselves and Slovakia really, and the three below us. You mentioned that England results this evening, beating Slovakia. It's what we expected. 3 goals as well is going to dent Slovakia's goal difference. You've got to take advantage of that. Not exactly sure the players will be aware of the result going onto the pitch tonight, but I think they'll know.
Oh, that's a loose header from Abanqua. And Andorra numbers forward here. Cornella to get his cross in towards the back. Decent ball as well, and Andorra lead. Well, they fashioned it beautifully. Right decisions taken time and again. And against the run of play, 15 and a half minutes in, it's Andorra 1, the Republic of Ireland 0.
I just spoke a few moments ago. There's just about kind of doing the basics, picking up second balls. Didn't do it on that occasion. Wasn't anything overly intricate in terms of build-up play. Once
Abanqua misplaced that header.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a wonderful ball into the box. What I will say is they get players in there. Soul eventually gets the final touch. It's a nice ball flow to that kind of back post. Brilliant header back across. Was a little bit Liam Scales the other night, knowing that he can't score. Just heads it back across the 6-yard box. Just don't react quickly enough. Soul is on the move, the number 9. Okabwe, you're hoping he might recognise the danger, sense a bit of danger, track the run. He does a little bit slow and reacting. A little bit slow reacting everywhere. So we lost that initial ball. So certainly a blow. Plenty of time to rectify the situation. We have been very comfortable. But that'll certainly hurt. That'll focus the minds going forward now.
Just looking at that last replay, clever little block off by Boutarfis as well on Abanqua as he tried to get out and stop the cross. But as you said, really unselfish and an excellent back post header to put it on a plate for Gerard Sola, who scores his second goal at under-21 level. One of just 3 players in the current squad to have scored a goal for the under-21s. And that's a huge lift for them.
Yeah, it was a natural movement from the striker. Initially was looking to get involved, I think, early in the move. And went kind of wide. Cross came into the box, and immediately he's on the move. He's driving back into that kind of central area inside the box. Sensing an opportunity, anticipation, just hoping, gambling. That's exactly what he did, and he got his reward.
Could Ireland respond quickly? See the height differential there as Game Acosta is picking up Marco Mani. Jamie Mullins will have to wait for a moment. Shenanigans in and around the goalkeeper, Marco Mani and Acosta. You can see the referee's got his eye on. Sola, the goal scorer, defending that near post area. Mullins comes out short, working with Kone Doherty. Oh, that lovely change of direction, driving towards the end line, looking for that pullback. Corner again.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, just mixing the game up a little bit. Don't be too predictable. Took a short corner, little 2v2 situation. Kone Doherty exactly where he wanted to be against the opposition winger. Showed a great turn of speed, which we know he has.
I think on this surface as well, could be a nightmare to handle him. Oh, and the header just flashes past that near post.
Sean Grennan, I'm not too sure.
Maybe McManus.
Possibly so, yeah. As Marco Mani made the initial run to the near post, went over his head. That second run in behind made really good connection. Just wondering if he thought maybe Marco Mani was going to get a flick arrived a little bit too quickly. If it was McMahon, he's made a good connection. Wasn't a huge amount wrong with it. There's a run from Amani. He's in behind. It is McManus, Conor McManus. Just a shame. He's beyond the near post there. Just has to direct that back across.
That ball snapped up by Alex Cornella, the left back. Oliveira.
Yeah, that's a lot better. Lipshook there, stepping up. Have to try and put a bit of a forward press on against this Andorran back three. Mark O'Mahony clearly can't do it by himself. Jamie Mullins in particular, and Lipshook there, down their side of the pitch, got to step on into those centre halves, put a bit of pressure on them, force a few errors.
Here's Oliveira, 13 senior caps and that one goal we mentioned. Quinella trying to make headway down the left-hand side. Here is Rodrigo. Good work again by Lipshook to dispossess. Devaney, can Ireland get out of here quickly? Might be space to operate in. Hakiki. Drifting on the inside, Devaney. Back to the Sligo Rovers man again. Full time in Slovakia, and England have added a fourth. Divin Mubama with his second, 4-0. So for Lee Carsley, 5 wins out of 5, 13 goals scored, none conceded. Top of the table tonight.
As expected. Yes, as expected. Don't need to worry about that. It was a really good touch there. Jacob Devaney under pressure, opened himself up, just needed to pop it into the feet of Mark O'Mahony. Had come short to receive it. He actually played it in behind, thinking Mark O'Mahony was going to spin in behind maybe, but just got to get into the Ireland centre forward's feet there. Then we get runners off. Just can't get too despondent, Des. Get too anxious now. A goal behind. We know what's at stake, but huge amount of time left in this game. Just got to be patient. Keep playing our game.
So England doing what we've expected them to do in terms of their job today. And for Lee Carsley, a different kind of pressure on Lee, I guess, and that they're going for 3 in a row of European Championships, which would be an incredible achievement, but you don't really need to re-motivate because it's a new group coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't look like a man under pressure. Lee Carsley, you see him being interviewed. Yeah, it's a job he enjoys. I think you get a sense of that. All right, yeah, huge expectation in terms of what he's achieved already. But you're right, there's a different group of players. It's always a kind of different challenge, I think, for managers at this level. Not easy in some respects, Des, I'd say that. But challenging nevertheless, and very rewarding when you get it right.
Devaney's taken a knock there, and I don't think the Ireland bench too happy with the nature of the tackle. Back on his feet though, as we head towards the midway point of this first half. A bolt from the blue, really, the lead goal for Gerard Sola, but given that we mentioned the Troy Parrott brace and the 4-1 here, worth remembering that maybe in that senior game we were 1-0 down as well.
It's all part of the learning curve, even at this level under 21. Game's not going as they would have expected, as they would have wanted.
Oh, Banqua did well initially, but then gave it away, and there's a second. Oh, superbly curled in by Hugo Ferreira. Another one of those capped at senior level, but 2 mistakes defensively. 1 misplaced header, 1 misplaced pass from James Abankwah after he did so well in the first instance, but ruthlessly punished, and Ireland find themselves 2-0 down.
Yeah, and you learn this, Des, international football, even at this level, not even senior international football. Clinical, you get punished. And look, you're in the game, you're kind of comfortable, you have plenty of possession of the football. You make a small mistake, particularly in these areas of the pitch, 30 yards from your goal. Pass the ball on the inside, and then you pass that ball on the inside, Des, you've got to be sure it makes it to its target. It's a poor decision. I don't think the pass is on to Lipshook. Gets intercepted. Ferrara does great. Takes it out of his feet. Wonderful finish. Really clinical in terms of how they've executed both their opportunities. But this is the level that we're at, international football. The lads will be... I don't know what's hit them at the moment. It's a massive challenge now in front of these Irish players.
That's a stunning finish from Hugo Ferreira. One of those playing domestically in the Andorran League. He might not be there for long. O'Mahony showing for it, doesn't land at his feet. Away by Bora. Now worked out to Alex Quinella. Just see an extra little bit of confidence now in the step of the Andorran players, particularly after that first goal.
Yeah, more than a little bit, Des. Before that first goal arrived, haven't really threatened us. You know, we'd taken possession of the football. We hadn't created a huge amount ourselves, don't get me wrong, but you know, we look very comfortable. Most of the players getting plenty of touches on the ball. The goals change games, as we know.
Well, 2 goals in 7 minutes as Ireland rocked on their heels. Still plenty of time to go to rescue this. But it's something they will have to do if they want to close that gap on Slovakia.
It just feels a bit self-inflicted. That's the thing. Sometimes you're never happy conceding any goal. You can always defend goals better, but sometimes you got to hold your hand up with outstanding individual play in terms of how it's created. But I just feel as if we've contributed on both occasions there, giving the ball away cheaply. Bad areas of the pitch. Bad areas of the pitch, I mean 30 yards from your goal. You make a mistake there, you can't recover, can't get back into defensive shape. You make a shape 10 yards, a mistake 10 yards outside the opposition penalty box. You've got time to get back and get into good defensive shape.
This is the final fixture in this group of the calendar year. They won't resume qualification until March. Then it will be September, and it will all end up finishing up with Ireland at home to England next October. Tangle off the ball there, and Marco Mane is going to pick up a yellow card here.
Yeah, so this is it. This is how it manifests itself. The kind of frustration the Ireland players are feeling, and exactly see it. This was off camera in terms of what happened. May not have been much in it. Don't know if he maybe possibly raked them down the back of the leg unintentionally. I'm not too sure. Yeah, you can see the contact here. It's not much in that. It's a push in the back. Not too sure if he maybe clips his legs at the same time. But again, international football, you don't get away with it. Club football, referee tells you to get up and get on with it. It's a different animal. International football, you got to learn quickly what you can get away with and what you can't. Spoke about the physical presence of Marco Mane before the game. He's got to be careful now. He's got to temper that a little bit, be clever. We still got back into this game. We can still win it 2-0 down. We're certainly not going to win this game one man down, 10 men for the rest of the game, so got to be mindful of that.
Well, they very rarely find themselves in this position, Andorra. 2 goals to the good in a qualifier. That's where they find themselves now as we head towards the half-hour mark at the Estadio Nacional. Three wins in 84 previous Euro qualifiers. Lithuania, Turkey and Kazakhstan last month. After a 5-year wait since the previous one. They've won famous draw as well back in 2021 qualifiers against England. And they levelled in stoppage time in a 3-3 here. Dreaming even bigger now. Noah Joni to Sean Graham. Conor McManus. Conor Doherty, who Ireland will want to get on it as much as possible. Fleet of foot, and those feet taken out from underneath him in the centre circle by Guillaume Costa. Doherty demands it again, not on the same wavelength as Devaney. Can Ireland find a way just to settle back into their rhythm here?
Yeah, they're a tidy team. I will say that. You mentioned about the poor record over the years, but it's not this particular group of players, is it? I've been quietly impressed with what I've seen from them so far. Very efficient in possession. Don't get too kind of frightened when we put a bit of a squeeze on them. Ferrara in particular, who scored that amazing second goal. Very comfortable. Just got to respect that a little bit. But not too much. 2-0 down, we've got to get after them. We've got to turn over the ball, Des, and get into their half the pitch and get a bit of sustained pressure on their goal.
I think if you were one of those Andorran players as well, you'd be asking questions of whoever sat down to thrash out the fixtures. 5 of your first 6 in the group away from home. Certainly a situation that could cut the legs out from under you before you even begin.
Half boots will travel, they say, but it's a hell of a lot of travelling, you're right.
Now home advantage for the rest. They'll finish with 4 straight home games. And they're making the most of home advantage tonight on this surface. They'll know very, very well. Ireland need to find that spark from somewhere.
Yeah, vitally important. There's this last kind of hour's football here in terms of the context of the group. There's a lot of points to play for, but this is huge. Remaining period in this game.
Lovely take on the turn from Aaron Rodrigo again, along with Gerard Sola, the first goal scorer. Plays with the Huesca reserves in Spain. Senior team in the second tier in Spain, so they're hoping there might be a pathway for them there. Booming ball from Bielbora. Out towards this left-hand side. Hakiki using his body. He could do with some support. Lovely check from Jan Hakiki. All on his own. Looked like he might be dispossessed by Ferreira. The loose ball has been coughed up to Lipschuk. Challenge is clean. Banco gets a foot in, but at the end of it all, it's an Andorra ball.
Yeah, haven't got a huge amount of options there, Jad Hakiki. Had a bit of sympathy for him. I was looking at Mark O'Mahony in the centre of the pitch. I was thinking, can he get across and offer himself up? Hakiki's close to the touchline there. There's a couple of people around him. He's looking to offload it. He's looking for options. Mark O'Mahony's heading into the box thinking, can you find me? That's too hard a ball. I think he's got to come and present himself. Lipschuk has tried to get involved, get across the pitch and help him, but he was the only one. Just think Ireland's centre forward there's got to recognise he's in a little bit of trouble there, needs a bit of help and slide across the pitch and give him an out ball.
Well, no, there's certainly competition for places in terms of that number 9 role. Mason Neely had started every group game up to this point. Tommy Lonergan as well, off the back of a really good season with Waterford. 11 goals, maybe slightly overshadowed by Padraig Almond, but new manager coming in as well in John Daly.
Yeah. Perfect learning curve for him, playing alongside Padraig Almond. Really impressed with him, the SRC this year. Really experienced operator, smart centre forward, and as a young up-and-coming player, they're the type of players you want to play around, be around, learn from. Sure, Lonergan's done that, but you're right, Des, he's a handful, runs the channels honest. Might be an option in terms of getting a second centre forward on the bench. And, maybe not now, but certainly in the early stages of the second half. Sure, it's something Jim will be thinking about.
Good bump from Grehan, who's there now on the half volley to clear. Okabwe's header. Here is O'Mahony. Coming back from an offside position though.
Yeah, that really hurts. There's only a small thing, I know, but trying to build a bit of forward momentum, get into the opposition half like we spoke about. Can't get yourself back on side. Allows Andorra to kind of kill the game. Get a foothold again in your half the pitch, and like I said, they're not embarrassed by the ball. Particularly those centre midfielders receiving under pressure, keep hold of it.
That's Mark Rodriguez squeezing one down the line, tidied up by McManus, away by Noah Joni. Acosta in aggressively against Conor Doherty. Lovely turn. Here's Sola, held up by Grehan. Has the strength to hold on. He's done well again, Gerard Sola. Ireland can't keep it. Ferreira digs it out under pressure. And the home fans appreciating what they're seeing from their side here. Back with Bora again. And now Oliveira. Backheel forward by Cornella. The ball in behind is caught out of Banqua here. It's Aaron Rodrigo. And Banqua used that strength and pace to get back goal side. But almost in again, Andorra.
You have to say good football. There's in a tight area here in the kind of halfway line. Some lovely little 1-2 touch play. And they mixed up quite well. Not afraid to go back to front at times as well. Done exactly that. Popped the ball in behind. James Abanqua, look, just got cut out there. Fortunately for us, Rodrigo just didn't have the pace to get beyond him. That recovery speed from Abanqua and it got us out with jail. But again, we're getting opened up a little bit too easy.
Noah Joni, former home farm and Shamrock Rovers youngster, now back in the land of his dad with Brest in France. Saved one penalty, almost saved two on Friday evening. Not much he could have done with the two Andorra goals tonight. Grehan. McManus. Tarfus working to get goal side and not allow that Ireland left-hand side to get going.
We've had two opportunities there, Des, just to pop the ball to our wingers. McManus one side, Abanqua the other. We haven't done it. Come back across the pitch, make 3 or 4 sideways passes. Not too sure why.
Giovanni, that's a good ball forward. A little bit of pace in it as well to reach Lipschuk. Look to be fouled back on his feet. Darius Lipschuk. Cannons behind for a corner or a throw-in.
He's done well there to bulldoze his way through. Smash that across the 6-yard box.
Here comes Sean Grehan. Looking to wind up his first long throw-in of the evening.
Yeah. I'd just see him do both. And he throw this high up the air and actually run into the box and get the flick. He's a good head of the ball. Sean's got good spring. Ideally, you don't want him in the box here, but
positioned, big David Okabwe. There he is, right at the near post. Omani behind him, Abankwah, the third man. Abankwah moving towards that near post now. Cleared to the edge, Devani! Oh! Keeper might have seen that one late, and grateful in the end to see it whistle past his left-hand post.
yeah, we saw that St Andrews the other night, not afraid to take it on from distance. Got good technique. That was hard, dropping out of the air. That's not easy. Found himself a little pocket of space in the edge of the box. Set himself, probably just hit a little bit too high up his shin almost. That's why he didn't get the perfect contact on it.
10 minutes to go in this first half. Can Ireland finish it strongly, get one back, change the mood here? Devani. Lipshook again. Honest as the day is long. Ormani. And now Hakiki. Abankwah. Hakiki forced back by Alex Cornella. Now Kabwe. Graham. Ireland prompting and probing left and right, trying to find a little point of weakness. Just watching Jamie Mullins trying to get himself into those positions to receive. McManus driving on, Conor Doherty swings in the early cross, that would come to the back, and Hakiki takes it down. Not much room to operate in again, laid off on the chest towards Mullins. Nudged away by Ferreira. Ireland come again, Conor Doherty. Jamie Mullins onto Jacob Devani. Ireland stretch it wide again, Abankwah. Devani gets himself in that crossing position. I think he wanted to strike it first time, maybe the ball came back at him a little too quickly.
Yeah, James Abankwah's got to appreciate that. He just takes a bit of pace off. He can come onto it and whip that kind of forced time, force them into having that kind of forced touch. Made us cross then that little bit more difficult. Small things, small detail there, but it really matters.
Tarfas shoved backwards. Costa. Now out to Ian Oliveira.
Kiki's got to go up the pitch there. There's a right winger. He's in between. Doesn't know whether to stick or twist. The left-sided Andorran centre half or the left wing back's got to go. That means James Abankwah's got to get himself 15 yards higher up the pitch. So be it. We've got to get that press better higher up. Getting stuck in between. A little bit of indecision. Can't do it. Got to be really clear in terms of what you're trying to do. We're 2-0 down now in this game. It's not 0-0. We can afford to take a backward step. Really have to get aggressive now in terms of our press between now and the end of the game.
I have to give credit to the hosts as well for a side that's been coming out and getting beaten year on year, up to the age groups as well. They look a confident group.
Sometimes you just get lucky. In a country like Andorra, you get a small little nucleus, a group of players. You think we've got a chance. Got some good technicians here. Fair play to the manager, kind of well set up in their system. Obviously used to the pitch as well, Des. Not only a small thing, but again it matters in terms of how they're moving the ball, pace on the ball, the kind of precision.
Ireland found a comeback on a couple of occasions at Turner's Cross against Slovakia. From 1-0 down early to an early equaliser from Jamie Mullins, and then a goal for 2-2 from Jad Hakiki.
That's why we want to see Jamie Mullins just outside the box. That was a beautiful strike that night. Great technique. Get it just a bit closer. Mark O'Mahony, like I said, him and Lipshook. It's their job now. Not to get involved in the build-up too much.
Ball in bounced off O'Mahony. Graham. Awkward one for Lipshook. And away by Cornella. Okabwe. Devani. The Banqua stealing forward down this right-hand side. Driving on, slips it inside to Hakiki. Devani. No pressure on this cross from Abanqua. Can Ireland make the most of it? It will run through to Trent Coney-Doherty.
Attack it, Des. He's got to go towards the ball, not take a step away. Coney-Doherty gets a volley then, potentially on target.
Back with Abanqua again, nudges it for Hakiki. But that's meat and drink to a covering defender to just step across and let the ball run dead. Good cover from the second goal scorer of the night, Hugo Ferreira.
Yeah, like I said, it was a good cross originally from Abanqua to that back post. Opposition winger's got to be attacking that back post area there. Coney-Doherty, like we said, took a step back. And then just again the pace in the ball from Abanqua to Hakiki. Not a big fan of that underlap and run, that inside pass like Hakiki. I'd like to see him hold his position a bit wider. Abanqua just afforded to his feet on the touchline. There's just say, go on, go at your man in a 1v1 situation. And sometimes I know the modern game wingers like to come on the inside at times, but at times just stand still, stay on the touchline, have the ball to your feet, stretch the opposition defensive line across the pitch. That might create a few little pockets on the inside. Just narrowing themselves up a little bit too often for me. Hakiki, Coney-Doherty, stay wide, have the ball to your feet, show your quality in 1v1 situations.
Mullins looking for that little nutmeg, but he's been dispossessed. Ferreira terrific, and Tala has caught the eye again.
Yeah, tempted to say Rolls Royce or Ferrari in centre midfield for Andorra. He has been impressive. Just simple stuff, really. There's not too elaborate. He's getting on the ball, moving a kind of 1-2 touch.
Abanqua, the layoff. Hakiki racing to try and get there, but it breaks away off Lipschuk. Too much pace in it for Jad Hakiki.
You definitely have to look at that second centre forward. There's the second half. Lipschuk's trying to do his best to get up, present himself to receive the ball from back to front. It's not easy. Two strikers up there, just kind of planting their feet, looking back down the pitch, saying to Abanqua, John and Graham, go on, just hit me into my feet, get you back to front a little bit quicker. Have to sacrifice one of those midfielders, of course, one of your number 8s, really Mullins or Lipschuk, to do that. I think that's the way we're going at the moment. Need that second striker high up the pitch. Haven't really had a huge amount of sustained pressure during goal this first half. That has to change.
That's an uncalled for challenge, really. He was going nowhere in Abanqua. Maybe a sign of his frustrations in this first half. One of 2 Irish players in to bowl him over.
Yeah, look, he'd be frustrated in terms of maybe his performance first half. There's a couple of mistakes. He's been ruthlessly kind of punished. But again, has to keep his composure, has to kind of lead the team. You know, players going nowhere there, he knows that. You're kind of doubling up, just stay on your feet.
He took a record-breaking goal from Michael Noonan off the bench when the sides met in September to decide that game. Taking Mason Milia's record as the youngest under-21 Republic of Ireland goal scorer. Of course, Michael Noonan, what a great run they had in Qatar. Colin O'Brien 17s. It all ended today in the round of 16. Any Swiss side underage is always going to be formidable opposition. Ireland gave it their best. In the end, it was a 3-1 defeat, but what joy they've given us over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Jim Crawford will look on the bench as that option, like you mentioned. Michael Noonan to come off the bench, but it was the right decision. Obviously, travel with the 17s and experience a World Cup, no doubt about that. But we're crying out for a little bit more penetration, a bit more of a presence higher up the pitch. Mark O'Mahony, I think, needs a little bit more help higher up. Maybe test this Andorra back through. Been very comfortable for the majority of this first half.
Coney-Doherty again looks for the early cross. Big early shout from Mark De Castro. And a comfortable take. Big half-time team talk coming up from Jim Crawford and his coaching staff. I wonder if there will be changes. Devani, strong work initially by Okabwe. McManus driving at pace. Coney-Doherty outside him. Slips it inside to Mullins, who's been well shackled tonight. Anytime let's come near him.
Yeah. I think it's opportunity lost a little bit. Coney-Doherty comes on the inside, plays that kind of sideways pass. There's you sense of the Andorrans. This is exactly kind of where we want. Kind of narrow up. Try and get those little overloads in the wide areas. Still feel that's our best route forward. See the pressure immediately Jamie Mullins has put under. A lot of Andorran bodies there. That kind of central area, nice and compact.
definite options on the bench, and what we might mention as well, Jack Moorhouse, along with Devaney, another Manchester United youngster. He's out on loan at the moment, but won his second cap, made his competitive debut as a late sub on Friday, and it's very well regarded.
He plays a second striker, though. That's the question I'd ask you. I think that's what we need. I don't think it's like for me at the moment off the bench. I think just tactically it's going to need a change. If you go to a flat back forward, even I think it needs something of that ilk. It's going to freshen things up, get a bit of a jolt from this Irish team in the second half.
Mullins able to force his way through that gap. Manus eased off it by Ferreira. Time here for James Abankwah as we head into added time at the end of this first half. Certainly expecting, on the basis of what Andorra have done in the group so far, to anticipate a stiff challenge tonight, Ireland, but wouldn't have envisioned this scoreline, I would think. But it's what they have to handle and deal with now. Abankwah, the key races to get wide. Abankwah again, lovely turn. James Abankwah holds on. Couple of ricochets, but nothing falling the way of a green shirt. Andorra looking to break out here. Jamie Mullins can't make the tackle. The retreating Lipschuk does. And might be lucky to escape a yellow card here.
He's great energy levels, Lipschuk, in terms of getting up and down the pitch, but just too many unforced errors from an Irish perspective. Spoke about kind of sloppy little imprecise passes. Final ball just at times has let us down. McManus there in the left back position, driving forward, just a heavy touch a couple of minutes previously, giving the ball away. All those kind of things add up. It's one of the reasons why we haven't got really any real kind of forward momentum in this first half. Really struggled to create opportunities, if the truth be told. It has to change. It's an obvious thing to say. I think that's for Jim Crawford to be speaking to. The staff on the sideline. Like I said, I don't think it's like for me. It's going to need a change. But it's a flat forward. I get a second striker on. Sacrifice one of those central midfielders. Just want to get back to front a little bit earlier.
Graham. Now McManus. And look up at that wall of yellow to try and break down again. Graham pings it out to Abankwah. Hakiki. Then he gets himself in this position again, but no time to get his cross in. The 2 additional minutes have expired. And Ireland with a major problem to solve here if they want to keep their qualification hopes alive. 2 goals from 2 defensive mistakes. The first headed in from close range by Jared Sola, the second a beauty by Hugo Ferreira. And at half-time here as we head to a break, we'll do so on a scoreline of Andorra 2, the Republic of Ireland 0.
There's plenty of class on display in this under-21 Euro qualifier in Andorra. Unfortunately, from an Irish point of view, all that class is coming from the host, particularly that man there. 21-year-old from Santa Coloma, Hugo Ferreira, has been the hero, really, in that opening 45 minutes. We could just look at the Troy Parrott hat-trick again, Ronan, but maybe instead, what is going on there?
Yeah, kind of back down to reality again. Tough first 45 minutes for the lads. We were full of plaudits. You know, on Friday night against England, they were really good. Take nothing away from them on the night, but tonight, when the onus was them to take the game to Andorra, they just haven't done anything throughout the first 45 minutes. They've been, you know, sloppy in possession. Their tempo hasn't been quick enough. They've created literally absolutely nothing in terms of working the Andorra keeper. I'm sure Jim will be in there very disappointed.
He will be disappointed, and we might question his selection for the game as well. But Andorra, we said they were decent, but nonetheless, surely this shouldn't be happening to Ireland.
No, well, not the unforced errors and the mistakes, Joanna. You look at this is a routine punt up the pitch by the goalkeeper. James Abankwah, he's one of the senior ones. That is a dreadful header, Joanne. Really, really poor. Then doesn't get anywhere near Cornella to stop the cross. Remelin's with a good header back, and Saleh is free in the middle in between the 2 centre-halves, Sean Gren and Okakubu. So, such a poor goal to concede, but initially it comes from Abankwah's header. And watch this one, 3 or 4 minutes later, he can head this before it bounces, decides to let it drop, Then he gets his body in between the forward, which is fine, wins the ball, so you're thinking he's in control now. But why he's playing a pass inside there, which is so easy to read. Now, take nothing away from the finish from Ferreira, absolutely outstanding. But James Abank was your captain. As I said, he's been playing under 21 football for the last couple of years, so he's been dreadful on the night. And you look at this one again, the lack of urgency for him trying to get back. Eventually, he just gets there by the skin of his teeth because of his recovery pace. But to be caught out of position like that, and it could be 3-0. And as I said, he's supposed to be your captain, your leader. He's been terrible.
He's not alone, though, surely. Have Ireland not been sloppy all over the field?
Yeah, no, they haven't been at the races. I think that's fair to say. You know, you look at throughout the whole first 45 minutes, they've just been sloppy in possession. We were so complimentary of them against England. But this is a different type of game. We knew they'd have to go and take the game to Andorra. But Trent, we were so complimentary. You thought he was brilliant the other night. But again, he just haven't been able to get in the game. McManus here, simple throw in and inside. You know, it's just too easy. Just very, like, a lot of unforced errors. You know, just, again, James Abank just giving the ball away, you know, putting pressure on, you know, then your back three, your back four. And listen, there's going to have to make change, I think, at half-time, because otherwise the game's just going to slip away.
We do have time to very briefly look at the very brief chances that Ireland had at that opening half.
That's all it was, Joanne, very brief. Now, we did pinpoint at the start, this is kind of the one bit of maybe a nice passage of play. Mullins was involved, tries to get the shot off, gets blocked. But you're thinking maybe we want to see more of this. This is after 11 minutes. But we've seen very little since, Joanne. It's been so poor. Again, this is from a set piece. Conor McManus, he's unlucky with the header. But in terms, again, that's a long throw set piece, and it's the second phase. Devaney gets a shot. But we've created no clear-cut chances. As Ronan says, the keeper hasn't been worked whatsoever. It's been really poor. Coming off the back of such a positive performance, and we were kind of glowing in our praise, and rightly so. They were brilliant the other night against England. But I did have a little worry because you're so high coming off the England one, all the focus on that game. Then you have to go from here back down to Andorra. Now, we gave them the praise in terms of being, obviously being a very good team, but sometimes the come down can be just too much, and that's kind of what it's proven to be. They're not at the races at all.
They do have 45 minutes to turn things around. They need a big second half. Ireland will find out their opponents for the World Cup playoff in March on Thursday. You can see the draw live from 12 o'clock on the RT News channel and on the Player. And what a game awaits on Saturday in rugby. Ireland's latest November international is against world champion South Africa. Coverage from 4:30 on RT2, also on Radio 1 as well. You can see the Winter Festival at Punchestown from 1 o'clock on Sunday. And then Liverpool look to claim their season back when they take on PSV in the Champions League next Wednesday on air on RT2 from 7:30. And of course, we're waiting to see if the Ireland under-21s can claim something out of their game in Andorra. They're trailing 2-0 at half-time. We're expecting changes surely at the break.
Yeah, I can see Mason Mealy coming on. If he doesn't come on straight away at half-time, I think he'll come on very soon. I think we need something in behind in terms of maybe runners in behind. Mark O'Mahony, he's being booked. And we haven't really been able to get him into the game in the final third. Ball's been bouncing off him a little bit. Mason just might bring that extra bit of physical presence and that threatening around goal, because I think at this stage we need to get him on, we need a goal.
It was the introduction of Trent Coney-Doherty and Michael Noonan in the game in Tallaght that made all the difference. Trent is already on the pitch, and of course Michael Noonan is over in Doha with the under-17. So are you confident that who is there can make a big difference?
Yeah, the boys mentioned in commentary Tommy Lonergan could come on, Romeo Akachuku. I thought he was I think it was more to do with the knock. He got taken off at half-time the other night, but probably feels a little bit aggrieved that he's not starting tonight as well, but he could come on. So there is options there, Joanne, if you like, but they just have to increase the whole kind of energy, intensity. It's all a bit flat, and it's not good enough. That's the bottom kind of line. It's not good enough. It's really not. Although we did mention and we flagged it up, we saw Andorra in the flesh in Tallaght. They were very good. We flagged up the potential threat that they have. It's on an Astro, but Jim won't want to make excuses. It's just not good enough to be 2-0 down at half-time to Andorra.
No, Mason Mealy is coming on for the second half, and so is Adam Murphy. So let's head back to our commentary team, Kenny and Des.
Yeah, so a double change for Ireland at half-time. It's Mason Mealy and Alex Murphy of Newcastle, who's coming into that defence. There you can see him right a picture wearing number 3. His career either left-sided centre-back or left-back. It looks like he's going in there alongside David Okabwe. And Mason Melia on wearing number 11. So Jim Crawford is not hanging around with that double half-time change. How quickly can this Ireland side get back into it if they are to? Final checks from the referee. Andorra, no doubt delighted with how that first half went. 2 goals well taken off the back of 2 Irish mistakes. Straight away, Noah Johnny goes long. Different challenge to what they had, certainly in Birmingham on Friday, when England would have dominated possession. Ireland would have had the chance to counter-attack, but this is very different. They're asked to break down a mass defence when Andorra are in and around their own penalty area, and haven't had the answer just yet.
It's a big 45 minutes, there's no doubt about that. A lot of games to play in this group, I know, but we talked before the game. You do feel as if this game is going to be significant. Huge 45 minutes for this team.
There goes Conor Doherty, gets it onto his right foot, tempting ball in as well. Took a touch on its way, early Ireland corner. David Okabwe already on his way. Devaney to take. Jamie Mullins, Jad Hakiki, the ones who've made way at half-time. That one goes in low and volleyed away at the near post. Lipschuk racing to tidy up the loose ball back to his goalkeeper. Sliced by Johnny. What a play for an Andorra throw-in.
Yeah, just pleased by the fact we got the second striker on the pitch. I spoke about it before half-time. When you're struggling a little bit confidence, you can't pass the ball through the thirds. That's just to get that ball back to front a little bit early. You got 2 central strikers up there, makes that a lot easier. I think Mark O'Mahony would be happy to see Mason Mealy alongside him. I think they can help each other this second half, work here as a partnership. Hopefully get more of a foothold in the opposition half the pitch than they did in the first half.
And Ferreira's shown a huge confidence on the ball. Never flustered, never hurried. Feeling the pain of that challenge now at the moment. O'Mahony on the prowl, Mealy you can see on the far side. Devaney looking to close now, and he almost got there. So the back line now looks it's a Banqua as a right wing back. Conor McManus on the left, Sean Grehan right side of a 3, David Okagbe in the middle, Alex Murphy towards the left. Here is Alex Murphy. His Galway United debut as a 16-year-old, the man from Aladown. Already a couple of Premier League appearances behind him with Newcastle. And this change of shape now, bring a change of fortune.
Yeah, it might be more of a narrow front 3. Mason Mealy, Conor Doherty operating just off Mark O'Mahony. Still sure Mason Mealy will get himself centre whenever possible, get in contact with Mark O'Mahony. I was actually sure James Abanko, right wing back, then natural position for him. For still chasing it, that might be another change the manager may have to make.
Corner taken short. Cornella. Invited here to the edge, shooting chance. A couple of deflections on that one. Great chance for a third, and it's in. Oh, it's all unravelling. Ian Oliveira in the right place at the right time for Andorra. 3 goals to 0. Worth the corner short. Got it to the man on the edge to have a go. That was Aaron Rodrigo. And Noah Shoney feeling like we're all feeling at the moment, wondering how has this happened.
Really clever play from Andorra, working it on a short corner, getting it to the spare man about 25-30 yards out central area. A huge amount to worry about, you would have thought, but he gets the shot off, a couple of ricochets, just falls in the box. A goal scorer in the pocket of space. I'd like to see that Irish defence get out a little bit quicker when that ball is shifted across 10 yards outside the penalty box. Really, you've got to be arriving towards the edge of your penalty box, maybe a little bit slow in getting out. Scrappy goal. similar to the first two we'd given away. That's an absolute hammer blow at the start of the second half.
Maybe that was the kind of goal that Ireland were needing at the other end. Just a scrappy goal, any goal, to get it to 2-1. But now look at the mountain they're climbing in Andorra. 3-0 down. And this would put huge pressure on qualification hopes. Would go down as Andorra's biggest win as well, were it to stay this way, but Ireland have 40 minutes to change the narrative. And those combinations that we're working on Friday just haven't clicked tonight so far.
Yeah, but it's so clinical, Andorra, you'd have to say that. Almost feels like 3 chances created, 3 goals from them. It's getting more clinical than that. Now, you'd argue there's a small maybe element to look for that kind of third goal, kind of deflection, ricochet, etc. Certainly not in the way they manufactured the first 2 goals of real quality from their point of view.
Graham back inside. Okabwe. Sean Graham again. Turned away first time by Abankwah, and Kone Doherty hoping that might be red. It was read by Acosta. Dealt with a potentially dangerous situation well. And to Castro away. Alex Murphy's header, picked up by McManus. Devaney. McManus seemed to be taken out off the ball. Referee having a look at that as he continues to tangle with Mark Rodriguez on the ground. Okabwe. First time of the evening as he advances from centre half out to Abankwah. Slips it inside. They've worked it well to this point. Is there something at the end of it? Oh, Kone Doherty. Well, O'Mahony was in there, Amelia was lurking, but it was Kone Doherty maybe the best opportunity at the back post.
Yeah, it was all about that run from O'Mahony to that near post there. Spoke about that kind of first half. Lipshook done exactly the same thing. Getting that inside right channel just forward to the near post. Wasn't there first half from Mark O'Mahony. Was there now. This time around, creating confusion, almost a little over. Kone Doherty did exactly what he should do, attacking that back post, just get good enough contact on it. But that was better.
Yeah, Rodriguez strong at that back post to make sure it wasn't a tap-in for Trent Kone Doherty. Guillaume Acosta looking to play it forward, picked off by Conor McManus. David Okabwe back to Noah Joni. I'm sure he's down there scratching his head at the moment, wondering. And they've got to bail themselves out from here. Breaks off O'Mahony. Kone Doherty with a little space to run into. 2 down the left-hand side, McManus and Murphy. 2 strikers in there, 1 service. Kone Doherty. Lipshook. And now Abankwah. Chance to put in a cross here. Graham went in low, easily dealt with. Okabwe. Alex Murphy. Kone Doherty forced out as Andorra double up on him again. Time and space for Okabwe. Graham, lovely first time ball that for Lipshook. Now Abankwah. What can he fashion from here? Trying to link again with Lipshook. Play still alive. Mason Melia. Devaney works it on one more. Alex Murphy. And McManus. Here comes the cross. Big shout from the goalkeeper and a comfortable take.
It's the right idea. McManus trying to put delivery into the box, keeping possession all right, recycling it across the pitch, but we need a punch at the end of it. McManus trying to do that, just couldn't quite whip his foot around it. Got good height in there, good options. O'Mahony now, Mason Melia. Looking to get it into their feet in and around the box. Good to see at least the 3 defenders trying to step forward. Alex Murphy, Gretton, they're going to have to do that. Can't afford to keep them 3 across to the back now. He's got to drive forward down their area of the pitch, work a few little combinations.
Kone Doherty pounced on immediately by Guillaume Acosta. Strong run by Gerard Sola, who felt he should have got the benefit of a whistle there. Jacob Devaney. Ebankwa back inside to Devaney. Ferreira again, driving to get goal side, forcing Devaney backwards. Lipchuk sets it there for Graham. Ball by Devaney again, taking out a couple of Andorran players to find Conor Doherty, on by Murphy. McManus with the cross. Oh, an improvised touch there from Omani. It didn't quite come off.
It's just the quality of the ball again. Alex Murphy just overhit that one just a touch, just forced. McManus a little bit too wide, made the cross a little bit harder. Again, not the type of cross Mark O'Mahony's going to score from. It's got to be delivered with a little bit more quality, more pace, flatter trajectory into the right kind of area. It gives those two centre forwards, Mealy and O'Mahony, a chance getting on the end of it.
Last couple of minutes though, we've seen crosses from both sides from Ireland. Just need that final ball to be right. And a clinical touch at the end of it. Conor Doherty. To commit defenders, driving beyond Rodriguez, who grabbed hold. And that's positive. That's what Jim Crawford wants to see more of from Trent Conor Doherty.
Yeah, he done well there. Hadn't got a lot of options. Again, I was looking at Mark O'Mahony to come lean across the pitch, give him a dig out. It was 2v1 there, Conor Doherty. Hadn't got an awful lot. Hadn't got anywhere to go, really. Hadn't got many options. Took on his man. Drew the foul. He's done well. That's all he had available to him.
Devaney floats it in, but no one attacking it. Mark De Castro rolls it out, receives it back, and then launches it over halfway. Kabwe, solid, the centre forward, did well to hold his position, but in doing so allowed Alex Murphy to get in.
He started well. Alex Murphy outside that looks bright, sharp, looking to get on the ball, get himself involved. Good defending there, getting around the cover. David Akabo was in a little bit of trouble there, recognised it, got himself around. Good defending. We're going to need more than good defending though to get back into this game.
And again, the pressure there straight away from Andorra. Now driving into space, off goes Ferreira again. Heading for the corner flag. That's terrific work. He's been the standout player on the pitch. Again, Hugo Ferreira. Take the corner himself. Oh, well, looking for a fourth. That delicate little near post touch. Well, it was deft, and you can see the acknowledgement. It was obviously a pre-planned routine. It almost brought a fourth goal for Andorra.
Oh, such smart play, Des, it really was. Actually reminded me of a goal I think it was Man City scored at Liverpool some years ago, John Stones. That precision ball just inside the 6-yard box, that near post defender just not expecting the ball to be delivered inside him. It was actually a really good chance, a better connection there. We were 4-0 down. Really smart play that from Andorra, you have to give him credit.
Well, the most points they've ever taken in a qualification group, Andorra, is 5 back in the 2021 qualifiers. In a 2-0 win against Turkey in the aforementioned 3-3 draw. Coming from behind against England here were the big results, but the problem back then, it was during the pandemic. They had no fans in to see those results. Those who are in tonight, thrilled with what they're seeing here. Conor Doherty wriggling into the penalty area, but no further. Now Conor McManus racing to get back and apply pressure, and then grabs the jersey. And the frustrations from Ireland continue to grow.
Yeah, it's just wrong decision, Conor Doherty. There's trying to do the right thing, drive at the opposition players, but he's done the right thing in terms of drawing 2 or 3 Andorran players around him outside the penalty box. That was the time to release the pass to McManus on the outside, get that quality delivery that we're talking about. When he's so anxious to make things happen, Conor Doherty, that's the kind of desperation that comes into your play. Kind of ran into a cul-de-sac, gave the ball away.
Sean Grehan, Andorra, happy to drop off. Jacob Devaney. McManus of Brentford. Hoping to catch the eye of Keith Andrews this season. Now Grehan. Abanqua needs a runner, has a runner, but ground to make up, and goalkeeper out to deal with that one. And Ireland left appealing for a penalty, Andorra appealing for a foul on the goalkeeper. Referee says on we go. It's strength from Grehan to defuse that potential counter-attack. Conor Doherty, sharp turn. Grehan slips one into the penalty area. O'Mahony heads wide, but from an offside position anyway. Positive from Sean Grehan. Just hear the instructions from the bench, moving Trent Conor Doherty into a more central position to see if he can affect the game from in there.
And he's doing quite well at the moment, receiving the ball on the inside, in kind of little pockets of space, making himself difficult to pick up, receiving the ball and looking to play forward. He's trying to do the right things, trying to get on the ball and make things happen. Nothing wrong with that, just that final bit of quality.
Oh, Mason Melia was on the move. In that familiar style of his, just wanted to be slipped in by Conor Doherty. Alex Murphy. McManus. Devaney. Okabwe. Grehan. Darius Lipshuk.
Yeah, got to go forward earlier. We've got 2 Melia there, Mamani in central striking positions. 3 or 4 opportunities, just punch balls into them. I'm not taking it.
Alex Murphy lengthening his stride. Back to McManus, looking for options. Devaney's there for him. Just watching Grehan's positioning here. He's getting further forward. His quality delivery is usually good. If he can get into those areas to provide. Now he's going to look for the long throw. Ireland need to find a moment here. Hurled in by Grehan, gets plenty on it. Okabwe made the first contact. But Andorra grab onto that and now look to race away again. Ramollins worked out well under pressure by Ferreira.
Done great there, Ramollins. Under all sorts of pressure, understood exactly where he was on the pitch. Great little ball manipulation, dropped the shoulder, kept possession for his team. So important.
They'll have to keep the head in potentially provocative situations here as Andorra look to kill the game, kill the clock. Ireland can't get overly frustrated. They have to push. Lipshuk. Abanqua. Devaney. To slip it through. Now was there contact there. As Melia ended up on the deck. And this could be on here, the crossfield ball. Picks out Sola. Oliveira finding himself high up the pitch. And happy 3 to the good to not risk anything. Go back if they have to.
Yeah, ball retention's really good. Smart play, kind of game management we talk about. That's exactly what these young Andorran players are showing. Not panicking in possession, picking the right options. It's really impressive.
We've seen quite a bit, I guess, down through the years of the Andorra senior team, but in terms of confidence, ability on the ball, this is as good an Andorran side as I think we've had.
Yeah, high level of technical ability on display here, really is. Not the most physically imposing team, are they, Des? We look as if we have an obvious advantage there, but not able to use it. Can't quite get tight enough. Popping the ball 1-2 touch. Some clever little combinations, drawn fouls when they have to, breaking up the game.
Free kick floated in, and they had a runner who went unchecked. Cornella ghosted into the penalty area.
Real invention again. Everybody's expecting that to be floated to the back post. Shout gives us the eyes, kind of whips it. James Abanku again was stood still, wasn't expecting it. Cornella got a run on his inside, just needed a better header. Thought he could have easily headed that back across the 6-yard box. Could have been a tap in again. Goal number 4.
It's going to be very, very interesting based on this performance to see where they end up in this group. 3 home games to go, including Slovakia in the final game. That might yet be telling. Ireland still hustling, but to no reward.
I was going to make the argument at half-time. There's this Andorran team probably not used to being in this position. Maybe a little bit of nervous tension would creep into their game in the second half in terms of what's at stake, but haven't seen any of that, have we? Been so cool and composed in possession. Like, game management's been great. Been so impressive. Conor Doherty here for me, he's actually done well second half. Trying to get on the ball, find the pockets, be positive, drive kind of forward. To get just quality to find the ball at times, it's just kind of letting us down. I think we've got enough players in the forward area of the pitch nowadays. We've got that front three kind of narrowed up. Wing backs high and wide. McManus in particular down this left-hand side. Alex Murphy's looking to get himself involved whenever he can. So got plenty of bodies up there now. You could argue Mark O'Mahony first half a little bit isolated. Not that argument now. Just have to find that little bit of quality, a little combination play, a bit of penetration down the side, quality on delivery into the box.
This is the 3rd goal. It was an effort from well outside the box, and the ricochets were kind for Ian Oliveira. Senior goal scorer, and that's his first now for the under-21s, and gives Andorra that real daylight. Quarter of the game remaining. Is there a late resurrection? Tavani drills in a brilliant ball, and Melia was climbing. Couldn't guide it on target though.
Yeah, I think with Sean Gretton behind him was in a far better position. Don't think he gave him a shout though. The situation like that as well. The England game didn't like Sean Gretton coming in behind, didn't feel as if there was a big shout. Have to do that sometimes. Melia doesn't know what's behind him there. He's stretching for it, feels as if he has to try and get his head on it. Gets an early shout there from Gretton, who's behind him coming onto the ball. It's a far easier header for the Irish centre half.
Lovely delivery from Tavani. They're just asking someone to head it in. Activity on the benches. Double change for the host. Number 7 is Alex Rente. And for his first appearance of the qualifiers, and he's 11th under-21 cap in total. Left winger. And there he goes, heading over to that far side. Restart taken short. Then just showing the confidence they're playing with at the moment. Hold on the channel, good pressure from Okagwe to just lean on.
Yeah, pretty simple now. There's when Andorra looking to play out, especially goal kicks. You just got to lock on, 10v10 all over the pitch. It's simple. An element of risk to that. I know they go back to front. Your defenders are going to have to defend 1v1, but that's the position we're in. That's the slight risk we're going to have to take.
Abanqua taking it, heading back towards his own goal.
That's tough. It's tough, Des. This is somebody who's a natural defender. Been there myself, right wing back, coming back towards the ball. Not easy to get the head up, take pictures what's around the corner. That's tough for a natural defender.
Murphy zips it into the field of Devaney. Sean Graham. Now Abanqua can look forward. Not a good ball though. No chance of Lipschuk getting on the end of that one. What will certainly be a source of huge frustration. Mark De Castro in the Andorra goal has had precious little, if anything, to do. A couple of crosses to take, which he's dealt with comfortably. Johnny taking no chances edge of his area, but there is Acosta to nip in and get it first, and now he's in behind. Guillaume Acosta, the pullback as Andorra hunt their fourth, and they two in chasing it there. One of which was the recently arrived Alex Rente. Abanqua has it back. Omani through the middle. Good sliding challenge. And out of play by Oliveira. Scorer of that third goal.
I was so impressed from Andorra there. 3-0 up. They're looking to put a high press on us as we're playing out. I was so positive. Acosta there doing absolutely great. Win it back 1-2 and he's in our penalty box. It's actually a little 2v1. They tried to do exactly the right thing. We got a bit lucky, got away with it.
I mentioned the senior team earlier. They took just 1 point from 8 games in the World Cup qualifiers, but if you look a little deeper, there were none of the old school heavy defeats. There was no defeat by more than a 3-goal margin, and it was a squad that had a lot of players in their early 20s in it, as well as the still going 43-year-old Mark Pujols. But it's always going to take time when you start playing teams well up the rankings. You have to get things right defensively first, I guess, and build from there. But this side has shown such an attacking willingness. Well judged by Joni.
Yeah, this team has shown more than a strong defensive structure. They've been far more.
Oh, it's a penalty. It's a penalty, and it goes from bad to worse here. Noah Joni putting his hands on Nil Boutafas. Well, the Ireland goalkeeper just wanted to clear the Andorran player out of the way, it seems, to continue on with the game. Shepherded the ball back in. And then as Boutafas kind of hung around, a little nudge. Is that a penalty?
But you don't give the referee an excuse. We spoke about how the game's refereed at this level. You have to switch on pretty quickly and understand what you can and can't get away with. I understand the frustration there. Johnny's team's kind of 3-0 down. Andorra leaves a little bit on it, but it's not much. Didn't need that type of reaction. Keep your concentration, your focus. Look to kick the ball quick. A quick throw in. Not get involved in that.
I'd imagine he's saying that there was a shove from Boutafas first, but the referee has worked on the reaction. And what a glorious chance for Andorra to go 4-0 up. Noah Joni saved one on Friday, almost saved the second. He won't be saving this one. Sola has his second and Andorra's fourth of the evening. A night these players will never forget. So used to be on the wrong end of results in European Championship qualifiers. 3 wins in 84 in their European qualification history up to this point. And the fourth goal tonight means they will have a fourth. On a night to forget for the Republic of Ireland.
You'd have to say, Des, you have to give them credit. It's so impressive. They really have. Like second half, would they take a step back? Be a little bit daunted in terms of what was in front of them. The history presented itself, but no. They've kept on the front foot. They pressed us high. They've kept up to playing their football. Showed kind of real composure. In confidence even, and trusting themselves in possession. Look, we haven't helped ourselves, we know that. It's been a poor Irish performance without getting into too much detail, too many mistakes, too much sloppiness. I think Jim's made the changes at half-time. No problem with that whatsoever, but still haven't really been able to create those opportunities we've needed. Those clever little combinations, particularly in the last third of the pitch, good quality delivery into the box, just hasn't been there. And this team have continued to offer a threat when they've taken the ball off us.
A flurry of changes. Jack Moorhouse is on, Tommy Lonergan is on. Looks like the horse is well and truly bolted. First result in this final round of fixtures in this group was a 1-1 draw between Kazakhstan and Moldova, putting them each onto 4 points. But the big return for Andorra tonight, they will lift themselves off the bottom of the table, where throughout their history that's where they finished. They will move on to 6 points. And with 3 home games to come, including Moldova, they'll fancy their chances of their best ever finish. What a take that is, plucked it out of the sky with a feather-like touch. And they're enjoying themselves out there. And that would be hard for these Irish players to take. Conor Doherty. Wanting to make something happen. Look how many yellow shirts are guarding right around the D. No way through. Picked up now by Lonergan. Graham. And Oliveira. Oh, that could easily have been something as well if you're looking at penalty the other end. No intention of playing the ball. Stepped across. Took Melia's legs. And the referee happy he was only shepherding the ball dead.
Yeah, we just never saw this coming, Des.
Conor McManus down injured now as well.
Yeah, I know we lost to England a couple of nights previously, but in a funny way would have gained confidence from that performance. I think we're all impressed. We're all saying the same things after that. You know, how defensively, how impressive we were, how few opportunities we gave up to England. Had a real kind of physical presence on the night against England, used the ball well. Maybe didn't create a huge amount of clear-cut opportunities, but the balance of the team was really good, in and out possession. England really struggled to kind of break us down. So you take confidence from that coming to the game this evening. Yes, it's going to be a different type of challenge, but this Andorra team probably showed enough in Dublin to suggest they weren't going to sit behind the ball, that deep defensive block, and just say, come on, see, can you break us down? And they had the confidence to get on the ball and play their football, and they've been the better footballing team. It's as simple as that. And the defensive structure has stood up as well, and we've grown frustrated. We've caused our own problems there, as we know that. 2 goals are very soft. Key point in the game, really. 2-0 down, the whole game changes. We lose a bit of confidence, have to take an element of risk. Maybe game opens up. This team have been good enough to take advantage, shown real maturity, this Andorra team. So impressive. Can't praise them highly enough. But you can't just skirt over the deficiencies of the Irish performance as well on the evening.
Mark Tornay, the latest man off the bench, a 20-year-old defensive midfielder. But it was that type of night, I guess, Kenny, and coming to this type of venue where the first few goals were going to be important. If Ireland could have got themselves in front, maybe they would have broken the spirit of these Andorran players. But once Andorra got the first, and certainly the second, as you said, they played with such a confidence in possession.
It is a different challenge. As we've seen it to a certain extent with the senior international team, particularly maybe this qualifying camp, the defensive structure has been absolutely kind of rock solid, kind of hugely impressive. But there have been times when we struggled to break teams down in possession. That's been the case tonight for Ireland.
Good ball turned on first time by Lonergan, Conor Doherty. And this will break to the edge, and Moorhouse's effort blocked down again, and just didn't fall for Lonergan. Devaney keeps the attack alive. Conor Doherty. Swung in by Murphy, but low trajectory and easily picked up by Bora. And the confidence inside their own penalty area to pick a pass out. Jacob Slater is the man off the bench now. Down the left-hand side for the Republic of Ireland. Moorhouse. Trent Conor Doherty. Here is Slater. Another cross. Ireland want a corner. Tommy Lonergan attacking it near post.
Yeah, it's a bit better. That wasn't an easy position to get across in tight to the touchline. That little bit of whip to the near post. Tom Lonergan trying to do the right thing, just arriving maybe a touch late. keeper was in no man's land. That's what kind of happens. You make that near post run, you put down in the goalkeeper's mind. Does he come? Does he stay? Decent defending at the near post.
It's all 5 changes made now by Jim Crawford, so we head towards the last 10 minutes. Moorhouse muscled off it. Just a side that's played with the bit between their teeth. Andorra have relished every minute of this. And for Ireland, it's going to be a long 4 months to dwell on a result like this one. That puts them on the back foot now. Will be 7 points from 5 games. It will be 6 points off Slovakia in second, albeit with a game in hand, so all is not lost. But they might have to be foot perfect in 2026.
No, you're absolutely right, Des. You're hoping one of these so-called minnows, although Andorra hardly fit that description tonight.
Sorry, Kenny, it's a very late one. Mark Tourney, not long off the bench, clattering into Jacob Devaney.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Devaney fancies this. He's got a real hammer of a shot on him. 30 yards out, maybe slightly more. Maybe just touch the ball to the side and let him have a smash at it. Not a great angle to put a cross into the box, really. Really want to be shifting this a little bit wider, ideally. Don't think he's going to have a shot from here. There's 2 steps away from the ball either, so it looks like it is it. It's going to need a bit of a feather touch here.
Just watching Tommy Lonergan here, just on the edge, blocking one off. Cabway at the back and Grehan as well. Hoisted away by Cornella, back into the mix again. Acosta still full of running, the right wing back. Takes it into contact with Lipschuk. Andorra ball.
It's done great, really smart play. There really is, sensing the tackles coming, just drawing the player towards him, taking that extra touch, waiting for that kind of physical contact, winning the free kick. We've seen that numerous times from Andorran players in this second half. Really smart play. Just look at that goal difference as well. As you can probably do the maths, wouldn't have expected this either.
Well, the deciding factor once you go beyond points, the first up is head-to-head goal difference. So if it is to be Ireland and Slovakia shooting it out for a second. It was a 2-2 draw at Turner's Cross, then head-to-head goals scored. Long way to go, and of course we're talking about a group that won't end for the best part of a year, so I just wonder where these players will be. They'll be in different situations. There might be injuries to deal with, players coming back from injuries at different clubs. It's a long drawn-out process, isn't it?
It's very frustrating that as you look at senior international football now, those windows are getting smaller and smaller. I'm a big fan of it, to be honest with you, as a supporter now as I am, but also as a player. For me, those games couldn't come quick enough. That's going to short period of time. Maybe under 21s, they'll have to have a look at that, because you're absolutely right. That's a gaping hole between now and the next kind of qualifying game. It really is. The amount of frustration as well. The Irish players, look, we're not going to get back into this game. This game's over. They're going to have to take that kind of hurt and disappointment back to their clubs over the remaining, was it 10 months, Des?
11 months.
11 months, wow.
And for Andorra, by the time they finish up, they'll be a year and a half at it.
It's too long, Des. No, it's too long.
Might be players bringing their kids to the game at the end of it. The mood, no doubt, would have been so positive coming here. It was a defeat on Friday, but to a squad chock full of Premier League players from the Bundesliga. They were so positive. Maybe that game was set up for them to use the counter-attacking pace of Conor Doherty, but on the ball as well, they were quite positive, quite confident. And it has just not been there tonight.
No, it just weren't good enough. There's a different type of challenge, obviously a lot more possession in the football. Started off with that kind of 4-3-3 formation. Lipschuk, Jamie Mullins and those kind of number 8 positions. When you play that kind of system, you're looking to play the ball through the thirds You know, find players in the pockets, break the lines with your passing, 10, 15 yards sharp, crisp passing to get your two number 8s into the game. Just weren't able to do it. The Andorran kind of defensive structure was good to a point, just weren't good enough to break it down. Really haven't created too many I'm struggling to think of too many really clear-cut chances. The Andorran goalkeeper, he would expect to have been a lot busier than he has been this evening. So yeah, it's been hugely impressive Andorran performance, don't get me wrong, but you'd have to factor in as well, this hasn't been good enough from Ireland. Haven't tested him enough. Qualifier passing hasn't been good enough. Too many individual errors. Factor all those things in, Des. That's why we're 4-0 down.
Well, Sulla goes off the captain off the back of a couple of goals, and coming in the man who'd scored the only goal for Andorra in the group to this point, Ivan Dominguez. That's a measure of the issues they've had in front of goal up to this point. Through their opening 6 games, 1 goal scored, 9 conceded. They're closing in on a 4-goal haul and a clean sheet here. A night of nights for the Andorra under-21s. A chastening night, one to forget, for the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, Devaney just trying to force things there. He's in a rush, kind of understand it to a point. Give Conor Doherty a little bit of credit. Second half, you look for some little chinks of light. Des just feel as if he kept looking to get on the ball, and it wasn't perfect from this evening. Kind of hit final ball, a couple of little heavy touches here and there, but he never hit. Always looking to get on the ball and kind of be positive. 1v1 situations, get in his man and make things happen. He'll have better days, no doubt about that, in an Ireland jersey.
You'd imagine for the Ireland coaching staff as well, you're looking at a situation like this one, the game gone and maybe gone for a little while now. Just looking for the character your players can show now, who's got what for the remaining minutes.
Yeah, there's going to be important players for us now. You're right, Des, in terms of there's no leeway there now in terms of points to be down at the end of the qualifying campaign. You sense before that English game was the last game in the group, might well have to win every single game. So this group is still going to be key. The core nucleus group of the players, Sean Grenton, Devaney in central midfield, Mason Mealy, etc. Lipsuk as well, heart on his sleeve, that type of player. You know, McManus, all of these players have been disappointed tonight. They've been below par, haven't done themselves justice. They won't need me to tell them that. They'll be disappointed, hugely disappointment. It's all about the reaction now. They're going to have to regroup. They've got plenty of time, 11 months like you suggested. That's not going to be easy. They're going to have to be ready when these games come around again.
Lorraine overruns it. Worked out by Dominguez. Acosta, who's had a fine game. Oh, and if substitute Alex Rente could have taken that with him. Boomed out by Johnny. Conor Doherty defended a man either side. Coming in the back to win the header. Biel Bora. Certainly you'd think the quartet with senior international caps are just that cornerstone that Andorra have been able to work off. The supporting cast hasn't been half bad tonight either for them.
Yeah, I think this has a ripple effect within the association. Andorra, and we're speaking about maybe even our, you know, our under-17s, how well they've done at the World Cup, kind of public rowing behind that. The results we've had, the senior international group, that's an obvious thing to say, but for the team, a country of this kind of stature, this type of result for their team, I think there's a real ripple effect to that in terms of confidence and belief.
Oh, neatly done by Conor Doherty. You wouldn't blame him for taking the shot on. A couple of players ahead of him, Lonergan and Morehouse, hoping they might have been slipped in.
This is what I'm talking about. Conor Doherty here, still looking to get himself involved. Toy early, a couple of good touches. Taking responsibility there to take the shot, doesn't quite get hold of it, but trying to do the right things, even up until the last couple of minutes. Good attitude, his head's not down, he's not feeling sorry for himself. It's good to see.
Kabwe pressurised by Yanguma. And that pressure enough to bring another Andorra corner.
As long as it's not another Andorran goal, Des. This is tough enough to take it as it is. They've mixed up these corners really well. I think they understand this from an aerial point of view. They can't compete with us through the air. We have an obvious height advantage, so they've recognised that. Been really kind of creative in their set pieces, corner kicks and free kicks, played a few short. Caught us out on a couple of occasions. Not really smart. Credit to the players and obviously the coaching staff for putting it in place.
Cornell, the left back, to take this one into a dangerous area as well. Graham with the armband now. After the departure of Abanqua, clearance completed by Lipschuk. Lovely turn by Jack Moorhouse and driving forward here now. Head up looking for options. Oh, looked to slip it through to Melia, but well, space was always tightening and the goalkeeper was right at the edge of his area.
Yeah, he needed to play to his feet there, didn't he? Needed to pop at his feet. Look for the ball on the inside of the defender, but it's not on. Mason Millia's kind of held his ground on the outside shoulder of the defender. Just needed to be played with a bit of firmness to defeat Amelia, and he's straight in there. He's opened his body, he's on goal. But great run from Moorhouse. I'll say that, picking the ball up and driving forward.
He was training with the Manchester United senior team at the start of the year. Jack Moorhouse out on loan now at Leyton Orient. Melia looking to take it on the spin, just on the edge of the area. Cutting a frustrated figure now. Yanguma. And working to win it back. Lipschuk and Alex Murphy. Conor Doherty, beautiful balance. Two sliding challenges, couldn't get near him. Moorhouse works it on early. Lonergan tried to play him back in. A few signs of attacking life late on.
Too little, too late. There's unfortunately, you're right, Moorhouse has shown some lovely touches coming on the pitch. Looks very competent, good technical player.
Melia again looking for that little spin. And clash of heads just outside the D. He's down Mark Tourney as well.
Yeah, a few big months ahead for him, Mason Melia. Heading over to London, the big smoke. There's best of luck to him.
Great season to finish with 15 goals for Pats.
Yeah, disappointing season for the club maybe in general, but certainly got better and better as the season went on. You'd have to say probably benefited from that extra year, in my point of view, at Pats. Really kind of matured physically as well. He's got good character, good mentality, Des. Seen him this season get knocked over at times from centre-half, picks himself up, gets on with it. Fearless.
Yeah, we wish him well. Yeah. He's got his first senior goal as a 15-year-old for St. Pat's. Seen Troy Parrott head to Tottenham. It's not easy to make your breakthrough, but there are several ways to make your breakthrough, several areas, several routes you can go down now. Conor Doherty, 2 senior appearances for Liverpool already. Lipschuk in. And Andorra protecting that clean sheet for all they're worth now.
Oh, that near post. How many of those crosses he put in? Lipschuk tonight. Des just fired out to that near post again. We've got bodies in the box. Nobody's attacking that near post. He's kept going. Lipschuk, I'll give him credit for that. Really does wear his heart, his sleeve. Great energy levels. Gonna need him between now and the end of this qualifying campaign.
I'm sure they'd love another game coming off the back of this one, but as we said, a 4-month wait now until they go again, and that will be at home to Moldova, away to Kazakhstan as the March doubleheader. It will be Slovakia away in September, so a long wait to that one as well. We wonder, will they still be in the hunt? We hope they will. They will finish at home to England. Conor Doherty. Slater keeps himself onside. The cross towards the back goes beyond Lonergan, and the follow-up was a brilliant effort. Caught it superbly, Lipschuk, and denied by Mark De Castro.
Yeah, it was really good technique. Not easy, this. Had a long time to size it up, to take it on the volley. Really good contact. Slater putting decent delivery to the back post. It's a decent save. The goalkeeper hasn't been overly troubled this evening. Done well there.
Yeah, his first proper save comes in added time. Would have been a spectacular consolation goal. Kabwe had the chance at the back, but it's all over, and well might Andorra celebrate. Just a 4th ever European qualifying win at under-21 level for them. And already a points record in a qualification group as they move on to 6 and off the bottom. And with that defeat and the nature of it, a serious blow for Ireland's qualification aspirations.
Oh, huge blow, there's no doubt about it. It's going to test the character and resolve of these players going forward. There's still hope, plenty of points to play for. Just have to pick themselves up and show real kind of character, collectively come together as a group, drag themselves back into this group.
Well, the good mood bubble has been deflated on a night to forget for the Republic of Ireland under-21s. 2 goals in the first half and 2 more in the second. Andorra's night of nights. Back in 2019, the senior men won a first European qualifier after 56 games without one. Well, this might be greeted in similar fashion. Back to you, Joanne.
Oh, Des and Kenny, thank you very much for that. I think, as we look at the table, just to put that in context, Andorra's first ever competitive win came 10 years ago at under-21 level. Of their starting 11 tonight, 3 of them play in the Spanish 5th tier, 2 of them play in the Spanish 4th tier. There are 4 who play in the Spanish 2nd tier, but of those, some of them are playing for their B teams, and 2 of them play in the Andorran League. As we have a look ahead to Ireland's other fixtures as well for the 21s, Alan, how do they come back from this?
It's going to be tough, Joanne. It really is, because one thing, I suppose, the beauty of football, particularly at club level, is you always have an opportunity within 3, 4, 5 days, depending. You have to wait 4 or 5 months now. The next game is not until March, so they'll have to lick their wounds and obviously deal with the setback. But it's bigger than a setback. That's really damaging, almost embarrassing, Joanne. Now, Andorra, to be fair, right, we seen them in Tala, and we did flag it up at the start. And I've been to a lot of matches, Joanne, over the course of the season and over the years. Andorra were very, very good in Tala. My eyes don't lie. I knew what I saw. And again, tonight they were very good. So that's to put it in a little bit of context. But people will just look at Andorra being the minnow and obviously hammering us 4-0. So it's a very embarrassing defeat. It's really poor. They didn't do anything to kind of deserve not to be beaten 4-0. If anything, could have been 5-6. Andorra were completely the better team, totally outplayed us. A lot of individual errors, mistakes, nobody really showed up. It's very damaging. But the key thing to this, and in terms of the last few days, what's been so important, and the upsurge in positivity, the stuff that we discuss on a regular basis around Irish football and how far we have fallen, the upsurge won't happen overnight, Joanne. And the government funding that's been put in place to academies and what we're searching for and crying out for, it's going to take a lot of time for us to get back to some sort of level where we want to be. It won't happen overnight. It won't happen off the back of the senior team beating Portugal or Hungary. It takes time. And to be fair to Andorra, for all the years we were falling, they're actually on the way up, and they were very, very good, technically very, very good. And you can outline all the clubs they play at and the poor kind of clubs, wherever they might be. They're very, very good, and they're trying to do things right. We haven't been doing things right for a long, long time, and that's a result of it there.
As hard as it is to watch something like that, does Irish football in some ways need it? Because it could be easy to paper over the cracks with what we saw in Budapest, what we saw at Lansdowne Road the other night.
Yeah, and I mean, we're obviously very proud of them moments, but it comes back down to reality here tonight, and that was a damning result. I thought we were, completely outplayed. We expected reaction at half-time. We changed formation. We brought 2 up front. Nothing changed. As Alan said, Andorra looked like the more team that were going to go on and score maybe 5, 6 goals. I think we really need to go back to the drawing board. Obviously, there's quality within the squad. We've seen that off the back of the England performance. But tonight, when we really needed to push on and get a win, we failed.
Failed quite spectacularly as well. A huge result for Andorra, 4-0 beating Ireland. More analysis to come. We've enjoyed watching big celebrations of our own in recent days. Well, here was what it looks like when Andorra achieved their biggest ever result at under-21 level. Not in front of much of a crowd either, because they deserve more than that after the performance that they put in. Let's look at the second half goals, because what we needed was for Ireland to come out 2-0 down at half-time and show what they're made of. Instead...
Yeah, we're expecting a big response in the second half. Made a couple of substitutions as well, Joanne. But again, it's from a set piece. My issue with this is, fair enough, there's 3 out, so Trent gets attracted over, which he has to. But Lipsic is too slow getting out here to the edge of the box to try and close down the shot, Joanne. He should be coming out to the edge of the box as the pass is travelling across. He's too slow. They're unlucky with the ricochet, but again, it was one of those nights. And as for this one, the goalkeeper, why react? Like, there's like minimal contact. Like, that is absolutely embarrassing as well from the goalkeeper. And yes, you could say, look, it's soft, but the referee, to be fair to him, it's a silly mistake from the goalkeeper. You give him a decision to make, and he gives it. Kind of summed up the night, to be fair, at that stage, Joanne. The farcical nature of it, if you like, but that's kind of what the night was, farcical.
Even the brilliant penalty as well taken there. But there'll be people sitting at home saying, you see goalkeepers do that all of the time, the referee doesn't do that.
Yeah, but as Alan said, why make a decision? I get, no, I was frustrated. We're all frustrated. I get that, but you still can't react like that. And by the letter of law, you know, you'd like to think the referee mightn't buy it, but he's bought it, and ultimately it's a penalty.
The first half goals obviously did massive damage, and even though Ireland may have made efforts, they were minimal. I mean, Andorra, from start to finish, were they not by far the better team?
Yeah, I think it took Ireland 94 minutes to have 2 real chances. And this one, James Abanka heading inside, you just can't head inside. And the Cornelio, the left back, stands a great ball up for Mellons, and Scholl is in there. You know, I think as that ball's coming across, you need to lock onto the centre forward for Dave Akabubu. He's got to get in there, he's got to start marking Scholl. It's just too late. You know, again, it's a long ball up. You know, James, I spoke about it at half-time. He's got to see that. He's got to deal with it. He doesn't. He actually does well here. He gets his body in front. You know, he's willing to play forward. You know, at this stage, you can't telegraph that pass. You know, you're playing against, you know, a top player in Hugo Frere. We spoke about him. He made his debut for the senior team the other day. He was the best player in the park. You know, you see that, you know, with a really tidy finish into the top corner.
Do you see, what can Jim Crawford do? But this is the issues when you are an international manager, that you have to wait before you get a chance to do something.
Yeah, there's not a lot he can do, only suck it up, to be honest with you, Joanne. As you say, there'll be a reaction. Obviously, speak to them after the match, but they'll all go back to their clubs tomorrow, and there will be interaction. I know Jim kind of obviously goes over to a lot of games and speaks to the players on a personal level himself, so there'll be maybe a lot of that going on in the next kind of few weeks. But the next game is not until March now in terms of trying to rectify that mistake. You have to, as I said, suck it up for those few months. But it's damaging, not just to the campaign, just morale in general. Like, we were on such a high. And as I said, that's why I go back to the fact people shouldn't be getting, you used the phrase papering over the cracks, and you're right, Joanne. Like, Irish football has been in disarray for years, and we've been talking about it for a long time. And an upsurge over a weekend doesn't fix them. So hopefully it's a reality check for people to realise that there's a lot of work to do, and hopefully that work can be done. Because it's a really bad night.
And they're not, we were looking at the fixtures there, they are not easy fixtures. They just about managed to get over the line against Moldova earlier on. Again, you could mention the pitch on that occasion was a little bit dodgy. We cannot keep blaming pitches, and as Alan keeps saying, both sets of players are playing on it. We know Slovakia have been very strong. They caused issues down in Cork, and obviously there's still another game against England to come as well.
Yeah, now England's the last game of the campaign, so, you know, listen, we'd be in a great position if we can bring it into that last game. But next game is Moldova. You know, went over there in difficult circumstances and ended up winning the game 2-1. Be good to bring them back to Dublin, you know, in March, kickstart the campaign off again and go from there, because, as Kenny was saying in commentary, they need to regroup. Obviously, this is a difficult result for them to take. Unfortunately for Jim, he won't really get the opportunity to, you know, dissect it as a group. It's one of them. They go off to their own individual clubs, but there'll be, you know, communication, no doubt. But listen, it's not over yet. Still, hopefully, something to play for.
As much as Joanne, sorry, we're looking ahead to the fixtures, all he can worry about is the Moldova game. Like, we're in no position to be thinking about, oh, we need to win 3 games or 4 games or 5 games. It'll be tough enough to win the one against Moldova, especially off the back of that. So that's the only thing they should be focusing on now.
We have, though, experienced recently that Ireland teams can have what appears to be complete disastrous results and come back.
Yeah, absolutely, and Ronan's right. It's not dead in the water. It's just it feels like that right now. But look, you'll get over this. You'll be back like 4 months, 5 months we're talking, and you'll be into the games in March, and hopefully. But as I said, you can't look too far ahead. It's so important now, the Moldova game being the next one, and then the Kazakhstan one. The old cliche, you just take one game at a time. But just off the back of that, especially, We're not in a position anyway, Joanne, to be looking forward and looking ahead and thinking we can win this game and win that game. Like, the other teams will be targeting us as well. And that's how far we've fallen. For anyone that didn't realise that, because the senior team beat Portugal. Like, we've been talking about this stuff for years in terms of academy football and underage football and where we are and where Irish football is on the ladder. Like, 16 of the lads that played today for the under-17s that came through the academy system. This is an academy system that has been ranked between 92 and 96 in the countries in the world. That's where we are, Joanne. We're down, like, in the bottom tier, down scraping the barrel, trying to get back up somewhere. So people need to realise that.
This is, so Alan's obviously referring to the independent audit that was done recently by this independent
That's what
Belgian.
we were being measured on, yeah.
Exactly, and that is, so it is a stark reality that is where Ireland through the ranks in terms of particularly in coaching and full-time coaching and the hours that Irish underage footballers, both girls and boys, are putting in.
Yeah, but sometimes it's great to just see it. You know, we've all been speaking about it, but you can't hide away from the fact now that that's the case. And you've got to do something about it. You know, obviously the funding's come in now and it's got to grow, you know, year on year, and hopefully that will. But you can't hide the fact that, and the audit came in and that's where we are. So can't hide about it, you've got to do something about it.
Doesn't this come back to what we talked about before? I mean, we've talked about how impressive Will Clark has been in his attempts, and he was the one who was so open about the state of Irish underage football and was so crucial to even getting that audit done and getting the finance from the government to get that done. But don't we need to make sure that Will Clark and everybody involved in the League of Ireland, as opposed to the FAI, can make sure the funding is used correctly and we start to see
But that's
something.
where we're starting from scratch now, Joanne, and that's what people need to realise. Like, we have fallen so far, it's been neglected for so long, and for us, the word everybody uses is an industry. There is no industry. So we're starting from scratch. So the likes of Will and the staff in there that are doing a really good job in kind of alerting people to these issues and the stark realities and the stark figures that the likes of that audit kind of results in, that's where we need to build from. So this is what I'm saying. Now, look, you can take that game in isolation and say, we have players playing in England and they should be beating that team from Andorra. But I'm just talking about the bigger picture of Irish football. We are starting from zero, and we need to get so far up that ladder that it's untrue. And all the other countries, while we've been down at zero, have been going up steps of the ladder. And that's the reality of it, Joanne. For anyone that knows football and Irish football, that sees it on a weekly basis, whether it be grassroots, schoolboy football, League of Ireland, that we're out watching every week, that's where we are. And that's the stark reality. And this is a result of it. We've seen it with the national team. We've been talking like about the positive stuff over the weekend, that hopefully there's some kind of turnaround, and that's what we want. But we're starting from scratch.
Is there something you'd like to add just at the end as someone who's still involved in the League of Ireland?
Yeah, I mean, there is really good people in it. You know, you're like the likes of Shane Robinson. You know, there's good people within these roles now, and they've tried to regroup maybe for so many years, and that hasn't been the case. I think there's been forward planning now with a structure that needs to be in place. I think the money that comes in, it just needs to be spent really wisely, correctly, needs to be built through education. That age group between 16 to 18 is so vital for us.
Okay, Ronan and Alan, thank you very much for your time today. And a reminder that in brighter news, the draw for the playoff for the Senior World Cup 2026 is on Thursday, 12 noon on the RT News channel and the RT Player. Now from all of us here, good night.